Williams and Family. This is SP News Nuggets. And today, you guys, we've got some updates on all the things that they have found in the Brianna Williams and Taylor Williams case. You guys know that they did identify the remains as Taylor Williams. We know that. But these are the things that they have found, and they are coming out. And I want you guys to stay updated, and we're going to talk about it live at 5 p.m. Central Time. Tonight, we're going to be broadcasting live tonight. I need you guys to come in the room because I need to share some things with you guys. So come in there and join me, and then we're going to talk about this topic right here and some others. So here we go.
Cutting-edge technology in digital forensics led investigators to the body of Taylor Williams less than a week after the 5-year-old was reported missing by her mother.
And we've learned investigators took data from Brianna Williams' car and were able to track its movements from Florida to Alabama. Robert Bradfield is on your side tonight with how they were able to piece it all together, Robert.
Yeah, some revealing information here tonight, and unfortunately we can tell you there are several other high-profile missing persons cases that do remain cold. Jolene Cummings, Ayanna Sawyer, and Haley Cummings have never been found. But Taylor Williams' body was discovered almost immediately after search teams from Jacksonville set foot in Alabama. Well, how? Investigators zeroed in on Brianna Williams' car. According to sources who worked on the case and participated in the search to find 5-year-old Taylor Williams, detectives were able to extract and examine GPS and other data from the black 2017 Honda Accord driven by her mother, Brianna Williams. We're told modern cars collect data from more than 70 onboard computers as they connect to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and navigation aids. Modern cars also record a car's navigation history. That collection of data, coupled with more familiar cell phone data, created a remarkably true-to-life footprint. With a search warrant, investigators accessed the car's data files, which pinpointed where the car had traveled and when. The company that extracted the data in this case confirmed its processes to First Coast News, but asked not to be identified. Taylor's remains, which were in an advanced state of decomposition, were positively identified Monday. Sources say DNA was taken from her teeth to help make the match. And we do want to remind you, Brianna Williams is in jail. She's charged with child neglect and lying to investigators. She is expected to be arraigned on those charges next week. She's also expected to be charged in her daughter's death once the cause and manner of Taylor's death are determined.
Good morning, and we're told from where Brianna Williams sits in her jail cell, she is still not cooperating with police. And this is her daughter, her 5-year-old daughter, whose body was found in the woods in Alabama. And if Brianna is not responsible for her death, she is certainly not helping police find the person who is. So now that Taylor's body has been identified positively, our crime and safety expert Mark Bachman says they'll be taken to a forensic lab to discover the cause and the manner of her death. And that will help police charge somebody, whether it's her mother, Brianna, an accomplice, or someone else entirely. Now, at this point, Bachman says nothing is going to be discounted at all in considering who may have killed Taylor. And remember, police have an incredible amount of evidence to pour through with 3 scenes. There's one here at the apartment complex they used to live at on Southside Boulevard, one at their new home on Ivy Street, and one in the woods in Alabama where Taylor's remains were found.
It's important to clarify that this confirmation adds yet to another layer to the vast scale of this investigation that has been underway since Taylor was reported missing on November 6th. We're thankful to the community who helped in the search for Taylor, and we remain committed to working to bring justice for her.
Now, we do know that federal agents and detectives were seen here at Brianna Williams' old apartment complex, taking things out of her apartment and putting them into a JSO van. And as far as Brianna goes, her next court case, her next court date will be on December the 4th. Again, she is charged with 2 counts of child neglect and 1 count of lying to investigators.
Of little Taylor, because it is still part of an ongoing investigation. And we're waiting to find out if and when charges will be upgraded against her mother, Brianna. Currently, Brianna is in the Duval County Jail on charges for child neglect and lying to police. Brianna reported Taylor missing on November 6th, causing investigators to issue an Amber Alert, which has since been canceled. She told police that Taylor was last seen at their home in the Brentwood area. Police searched for days in that area, as well as her old neighborhood on the south side. The investigation even led police to Linden and Demopolis, Alabama, where Brianna is originally from. Technology led investigators to a wooded area where they found little Taylor's remains. We did reach out to Brianna's uncle, where he says the family is understandably heartbroken and they're trying to make sense of everything that has happened.
It's rough right now. I mean, we are just trying to hang on to each other, and see what's next. What's next is really trying to see what we have to do for memorial for Taylor. I mean, that's what's next. That's what's most important right now. I mean, it's lay her to rest where she should be.
Following the announcement of the remains, investigators showed up at Brianna's previous home on the south side and removed items from that apartment, placing it into some crime scene vans that were there as well. The investigation still ongoing, and her bond remains at $1 million.
I'm joined right now by our First Coast News crime expert, Mark Bachman. So, Mark, my first question for you. We learned today that the human remains found in Alabama have received a positive identification to be those of little Taylor Williams. So what's next in this investigation?
So the investigative steps are you've identified the remains as being Taylor. You've taken off the Amber Alerts. You're no longer looking for a missing child. And now they're going to investigatively still work on taking those remains, getting them to some forensic laboratory, and they're going to discover a cause and manner of death, which will help them in the investigation with ultimately charging somebody, be it Brianna or somebody else that may have participated in concert with her, or somebody had done it independently, or just her.
And you bring up a good point. Right now, Brianna Williams, she's only charged with child neglect and giving false information to police. When could we see charges upgraded? Is there a possibility that someone else was involved? I mean, we don't even know if she was involved with this yet.
There's a possibility. All things are on the board right now. They're not going to weigh out or discount anything at this point. And you have 3 different crime scenes. You have one up there in Georgia where the remains were. You have one at Southside Boulevard, technically, that you're searching still, and you have individuals in Tyvek suit today, investigators, that are going through it with a fine-tooth comb so there's no cross-contamination wearing this Tyvek suits, and you still have the Ivy address location. So they're taking all that information, all that evidence together, plus interviews that they're conducting, and they're trying to establish a timeline, eventually, hopefully getting a cause and manner of death, which will help narrow that down and find someone to charge in, who ultimately in her demise.
All right, Mark Bachman, our crime expert. Mark, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
As the search for Taylor span across several states, concerns grew for the little girl from Brianna's side of the family. On Your Side's Kaylee Tracy continues our team coverage now. She spoke with Brianna Williams' uncle this afternoon and has his reaction.
I spoke with Brianna Williams' uncle, who says he helped raise Brianna. He tells me the family's understandably heartbroken and they're trying to make sense of everything. Traveling across Alabama from Birmingham to Montgomery, where Taylor's father lives, to Linden and Demopolis, where Taylor's remains were found, there was one thing on everyone's minds: little Taylor Rose Williams. To give you a sense of the community in both Demopolis and Linden, where Brianna Williams is from, both are extremely small towns. Demopolis, less than 7,000 people. Linden, even smaller, less than 3,000 people. Brianna Williams' uncle, who says he helped raise her, said Monday the entire town is hurting.
Not even family, I mean the entire community. As I see people that heard the news, and everybody's heartbroken around us. I mean, because, trying to understand why. I mean, what led up to this.
Brianna's uncle told us everyone loved Brianna growing up, and she never got into any trouble. This is what he said Monday about how he and his family are taking the latest developments.
It's rough right now. I mean, we are just trying to hang on to each other, and see what's next. What's next is really trying to see what we have to do for memorial for Taylor. I mean, that's what's next. That's what's most important right now. I mean, it's lay her to rest where she should be.
And he asked for the community's prayers for Taylor, him, and his family.
Nobody plans for anything like this. No tragedy like this. Nobody plans for it. Just ask for prayers and community conference. That's all I can ask.
And like you heard Brianna's uncle say, both of these towns, Linden and Demopolis, both very close-knit, and he says they are both hurting.
Okay, friends and family. That's the end of the commentary. I want to share one more post with you guys. This breaks my heart, and others in the family have reached out to me. It's not just one person. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5 people saying, What can we do? Well, we can do something, you guys. We can do something if we all come together. So we're going to talk about that in the conversation room. I want you guys to check out this little clip. Put it on your hearts. Come in the conversation room. Put your boots on. Get your Kool-Aid, your pop, your soda, your anything. Come in there. Let's talk about what we can do. And let's talk about these topics in the conversation room tonight, 5 p.m. Central Time. I see you. Be good, be safe, and be nice to each other, you guys. Bye.